this NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series Championship Race Betting Picks edition of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog. Underdog is hooking up new customers. Play just $5 and get $100 in bonus funds when you sign up with our promo code RACE, SGPN.
Driver, start your engine!
Strap in and pull those belts up tight as the Sports Gambling Podcast Network presents the NASCAR Gambling Podcast.
I'm just gonna put my foot on the floor and I'm not lifting till I see God or a checkered flag.
My man.
With all the news and the best bets for your NASCAR weekend.
We want to thank you tonight for these mighty machines that you brought before us. Thank you for the Dodges and the Toyotas. Thank you for the Fords. Lord, I want to thank you for my smoking hot wife tonight, Lisa. In Jesus' name, boogity, boogity, boogity.
Now, here are your hosts, Rod Villagomez and Cody Zeeb.
And welcome to another episode of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. It's NASCAR Gambling Podcast After Dark. He's Cody Zeeb. I'm Rod Villagomez. I want to thank you all for joining us on this pleasant evening as we take a stroll down NASCAR Truck Series Lane. I can't even do it, Cody. What's up, guys? It's the NASCAR Gambling Podcast. Yeah, we are after dark. We're a little bit late here. For those of you who are out there on the East Coast, apologies for being it tomorrow. But, this is what happens when the books decide to drag their feet.
Hey, we were ready to go. We had all plans scheduled for our normal 4 o'clock Central, 2 o'clock Pacific time, and the books had other plans, so we waited them out and got some odds, and we're going to roll with it.
It's frustrating because when you have like this entire menu, right, for the Cup Series and more than you could even possibly order off of the menu. And then they give you this scaled down like brunch, the seniors menu. Like, I know I'm pushing 50, but you don't have to give me the seniors menu yet. Like, I can handle a full order of your best steak. Like, I don't need the dollar size because my little digestive system can't handle it anymore. I can't. Just give it to me. Give it all to me. That's all that I want. But this is we got what we needed. And we're going to give it to you. Obviously, stick with us for the rest of the week in Discord, and we'll dish out some more as they come.
Yeah. I mean, it's not the biggest selection ever, but I think there's some good stuff out there. I think we found some good bets. And, hey, Championship 4 race. We're going to crown a Truck Series champion, and I'm pretty excited for it.
I'm super excited for it. This, again, as we've talked about all season long, is just the Truck Series, the Xfinity Series. Sometimes they give us the best racing out of all three of the series, and the trucks. Even though Corey Heim has dominated the entire season as far as wins are concerned, it doesn't always feel like he's going to win the race, right? This is just one of those things where even last week, we didn't see him win the race. And it was still a dominant race for the most part by all of those guys. And it just, you never know in the Truck Series more than any other series out there. But Marcus, he's saying it's time all the time, and it's kind of hard to argue with him.
Is that twice this week? Marcus has a different pick besides Christopher Bell?
You can't pick Christopher Bell for the trucks.
Well, I mean, hey, I don't think I've seen him chime in on a truck race before.
Actually, you're right. That's true. I don't think I've seen that either. JDK saying, evening, fellas. Evening, JDK. Yeah, it is definitely late.
By the way, Corey Heim did win last week, Rob.
Oh, that's right. I'm thinking of Gio Ruggiero a couple of weeks ago. Never mind. You see what happens when you get me after dark?
Said that, I was like, God, I could have swore Corey Heim won, but I wanted to double check just to make sure I was not misremembering. But it was another. They've started putting win stickers on other trucks now.
They're dishing them out to other Tricon trucks.
Here, you want a win sticker? I got plenty.
Yeah, plenty. It's like Dutch Bros stickers where you got too many of them. You're like, I don't even know what to do with these anymore. Here, you can have them. You never earned them, but that's fine. I think I was thinking Gio from a couple of weeks ago. You see what happens? Like, this is what happens when it's after dark. You never know. But all right, listen, before we get to anything else truck related, I want to tell you about the MLB, NFL, NBA, college football, NHL. it's a fine time to be alive if you're a sports fan because everything is available to you, even baseball. We'll talk about that in a second too. And we got podcasts giving out free picks for all of it. So subscribe to the SGPN feed and you can catch every episode wherever you get your podcast. That's a great thing about it too. Yeah, you can subscribe to ours. Please do that. But also subscribe to the SGPN feed because not only do you get ours, but you get everybody else's too. And I tell you what, it is not it's a busy freeway on that feed, and it's a lot of great stuff out there.
Yeah, a lot of good shows on this network, a lot of good content, a lot of picks for most every sport. So you'll love to see it.
You do love to see it. You love to see Laura in the chat. Laura, good evening. Hi. I know that it's still early for us West Coasters, so we're having a good time over here at just about 8 o'clock Pacific time.
Hi, Laura. Good to see you. Shout out to Jess, too. She was looking for trucks earlier. She said that we were going to be on a little bit after her bedtime with the late show, but she'd catch us tomorrow. So wake up bright and early with little Thursday truck action in your feed. And the trucks are going to be practicing on Thursdays, so important to get those pre-practice bets in sooner. But it'll be interesting because we'll have time between practice and qualifying. You'd imagine that, well, you'd hope. I don't know if I'd say you'd imagine. You'd hope they'll repost some odds for you and all that. But yeah, we'll see.
In honor of the trucks, I'm drinking Dump Truck of the Gods tonight. That is the IPA I'm consuming.
Good artwork
Dust Bowl.
going on that can.
It's
always like the good artwork on the craft beer cans.
I'll tell you what. If nothing else, I know that it has zero effect on the taste of the beer, but I will say that I'm a sucker for good artwork. So if you, yeah.
It absolutely increases the taste of the beer, whether it really does or not.
It does not.
It's all about the experience, right? If it smells good, it helps, right? If it tastes good, it helps. If it looks good, it helps. So we're looking for the whole package.
I definitely, it helps me get the beer. That's the first thing. It helps me get the beer in my hands. So, you know,
as somebody that dabbles a little bit in beer sales, buying the beers, getting you to buy the beer is a good part.
Good to know too for your profession as well. Like, hey man, you might want to step up your game on this one. But all right, we're not here to talk about beer. However, I could do that. Maybe we should do that on an off-season episode. Have a nice little beer episode because. Beer and NASCAR. We could talk some NASCAR stories while drinking some beer and talking about it.
Okay.
That'll be our crossover. Old Fashioned has theirs. We can have ours. Right. But we're here today to speak of the Truck Series. It is the Craftsman Truck Series Championship race set for 150 laps on this 1.00 mile paved track for 150 miles around the Phoenix Raceway on Avondale, Arizona. A super spooky Hollywood. I was going to say Hollywood. How about Halloween race for these truckers?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Halloween evening. That's pretty fun to crown a champion. I did want to touch on just two quick news stories. I know we have all off season to talk news, but a couple of things real quick. Lane Riggs got re-upped, multi-year extension for Front Row, so he'll be returning with that team. You'd assume in the 34, but who knows? He was 38 last year, so maybe they'll change things back up. And Daniel Dye and Justin Haley have found full-time rides with Colleague in the Truck Series as well. So some Truck Series news there. They will obviously be with the Ram team that Colleague has there as part of their 5 Ram truck lineup.
They just missed him as a camera operator in the Truck Series. They needed another camera operator.
Yeah. Nobody's more excited about Daniel Dye going back to the Truck Series than Michael Waltrip is.
Yeah, his adopted son is returning to the place where he's seen a lot of success. Hey, for what it's worth, though, Cody, I am super excited to see how Colleague and Dodge end up entering into this because we obviously know that Colleague has been a solid team. I mean, they're not a late, they're not a backmarker for backmarker's sake, and especially in the Truck Series now where they're shelving their Xfinity Series just to pretty much focus on this Truck Series. Yeah. That's going to bring a lot of attention.
Well, and they're going to be the sole Dodge team in the entire sport to start out. So any support that Dodge is offering and bringing to the table, Colleague is the only one getting it. They're going to be up to speed right away on motors because everything in the Dodge Series, it's basically a spec motor. They're all Elmore engines. So it's not where Chevy's building an engine, Ford's building an engine, Dodge has to build one. That's part of the allure of entering the Truck Series first is you don't have to build your engines because they're all Elmore engines. So, they're just jumping right in and, you just got to slap a ram body on that bad boy, and it's all of the former Spire truck / KBM truck stuff with, I think they're just going to change the noses basically to make it look like a Ram instead of a Silverado, and that's kind of it. So yeah, we'll definitely have to dive into that. It's going to be interesting, and getting a guy like Justin Haley, who's been a Cup Series regular now for quite a few years, to come down into that program. They've got some good drivers stepping into those trucks. So where is that going to fall into the hierarchy of where we're at in the Truck Series? I think is definitely going to be fun and interesting off-season talk. And then, as we get into looking at Truck Series Championship futures, hopefully you'll follow along with us at times and have all the Ty Majeski that I currently have in my portfolio, because that's feeling pretty nice right now. But that'll be exciting off-seation talk.
Kudos to Haley too. Just real quick as we put a bow on this, just kudos to Haley for his attitude in knowing that where he's going, and because we've had a lot of guys who just completely get butthurt going back down to a lower series after they've been in the Cup Series for a while. Corey LaJoy, Eric Almirola for a little bit too.
I'll bring it up in one of these bets, but Corey's, I don't know. He's rubbed me wrong with this whole Truck Series thing, Ron.
Don't light his picture on fire. Don't need that. Don't do it.
I don't know. I was such a big fan, and he's really soured me with his attitude towards how he's too elite to be a Truck Series driver. That's saddening. Are the pennies
starting to turn green? Is that what's going on?
Pennies got knocked over. They stopped printing the pennies, and that stopped being able to stack them, I guess.
Beautiful stuff. All right. So again, we are set to go on to the Phoenix Raceway for this final race of the 2025 truck season. Cody, obviously the Truck Series entries read practically the same, but a couple of names of note.
Yes, there is a couple of names of note, Rod.
I caught you off guard.
Honest with you, I don't have the Truck Series entry list, which I am currently trying to quickly scramble and pull up.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, boy.
It is the last Truck Series episode of the season, so and we did have to go late, so I definitely give you a hall pass for that one.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll tell you, first and foremost,
trouble finding it.
It's all right. I've got it right here. Brent Cruz in the one truck again.
Oh, hey. I got it right.
There you go. See?
All right. Brent Cruz is going to be in the one truck again this week. Wow, boy, that was rough. Let's just cut all that stuff out.
We never do that.
On YouTube. Don't just pretend you didn't hear any of that. But Stephen Parsons, he's going to be in the 7 truck, so a good opportunity for him to end the season. We've not seen a ton this season. Frankie Muniz, of course, is back once again in that 33 truck. Tyler Reif is going to be in the number 41 for Nice Motorsports. Luke Baldwin, he's making his return to the 66 for Thor Sport. Caleb Costner is going to be in the 74 for Mike Harmon. And I think really that's about all the notables. So nothing too crazy as far as the entry list goes. Mostly just your regulars as we kind of finish out the season here.
I want Kevin Costner in a truck. That would be a lot of fun to watch.
That would be pretty cool. I mean, we got Frankie Muniz. Why not throw Kevin Costner in one of them too?
See, that's what I'm saying. He would be a great truck driver. Laura wants to know how many beers. Literally like 2 sips. This is the after dark version of this show. No, definitely not enough. But yeah, no, I
should have grabbed a beer, but oh well.
That's all right. You got a commercial break to go up and do it for. You know how that works. So, the Truck Series, obviously, like we said, it's the Final 4. We'll set up all of the pertinent information. Cody's going to go grab himself a nice little beverage while I take this opportunity to tell you all about my friends.
It's going to be a race against the clock because I gotta go way upstairs and out to the garage. So we'll see if I make it back.
All right, let's see if he makes it back. All right, let's tell you about our friends over at MyBookie. We're brought to you by MyBookie.ag. MyBookie is your place to bet on football and everything else. Their prop builder, literally second to none. Their motto is bet on anything, anywhere, anytime. Of course, if you've listened to the show for more than 5 minutes, I put everything to the test on that one. There's easy deposit, lightning fast payout using cryptocurrency. Hey, we are all Toronto Blue Jays fans right now, are we not? Well, okay. Us in Northern California are 1,000% Toronto Blue Jays fans right now, which, by the way, if you are watching the World Series, spoiler alert, Toronto is winning 6-1 over the hated Dodgers. And if you would like to vote and bet on Vlad Guerrero to be the MVP of the World Series, who has done fantastic things tonight with the bat. You can get him at 3-1. Look at Ohtani is minus 159. No way I'm doing that. Give me Vlad Guerrero because I know the Blue Jays are going to pull this whole thing out. And you can get that again over on my bookie at plus 300. You can also, look at, man, I'm telling you right now, this is a lot of fun. Go bet on Guerrero at 3-1 to win the MVP. Do not look back. Head to mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN for a 100% bet back bonus up to $500 for new customers. That's mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by Novig. Novig is America's #1 sports prediction market. Novig, you're getting the best prices. Like I said earlier, right? Listen, Novig had the Toronto Blue Jays at plus 180 earlier today to win this game. Woo! Could you imagine getting somebody winning 6-1 at plus money before the line even got there? Plus, they had the spread at plus 1.5 at minus 110. The over 8.5 at plus 110 also. All that stuff is in play right now, and you can go cash big, especially with Novig earlier in the day. Don't want to miss out on that. It's available in 35 states. Download the Novig app and get $50 when you spend $5. Use promo code SGPN. Get in on the action with Novig. Promo code SGPN. Dodgers. Oh, look at that. What are you drinking now?
I've got myself a little Sam Adams Flannel Fest out of the variety pack, the fall variety pack. It is a Munich style dunkel, and it is very delicious.
I have no idea what any of those words are, but I want it right now. I love flannel.
It's a dark German beer.
Right. That works for me. I take it. No, listen, nothing. Actually, I wish there were Dodger fan tears in this drink because that would make it even better for me.
Yes, it is pleasurable seeing the Dodgers lose.
I am a Giants fan, therefore the Dodgers are 1,000% hated.
The expert suck agrees.
Let's go.
Laura's got the Guerrero MVP. There
Called
you go. And the expert suck says, "Let's go Jays."
We got some Canadians in
Agreed
here.
with you.
Absolutely.
I was sad that the Jays beat the Yankees, but whatever.
That's all right. All right. Truck Series. Let's talk about this championship race. Let's set this up. Obviously, the final four in this mix are Corey Heim, Kaden Honeycutt. You've got yourself some Tyler Ankum in there as well. And then the last guy that I'm trying to figure out that I forgot, Ty
Majeski.
How did I forget Tyrone Majeski?
Just as we all thought at the beginning of the season, it'd be these four. Okay, maybe not. A bit of a surprising. I mean, guys like Lane Riggs not making it obviously is kind of a huge upset. Daniel Hemrick to be a lot more in it. Chandler Smith doesn't even make the round of 8. That was really surprising. So, yeah, I mean, Corey Heim obviously, 47 wins on the season. He's pretty much won every race. He's looked great all year. Kaden Honeycutt, he whatever transpired there, but leaves the ride he was in, moves over to take over for the injured Stuart Friesen and finds his way into the championship 4. That's great to see for him. Ty Majeski, beginning of the season, it was rough. Pianos were falling. He didn't look good. That's when we scooped in and got all of that Majeski championship stuff. Was his numbers started tumbling because it was like, what's going on with this guy? But he's a defending champion. He's done it before. Short, flat guy. He's back in this one. And then Tyler Ankum. I don't think, Rod probably saw that coming because he's been on him just about every week all year. But, it's this quite a Final Four we got for ourselves.
When you're a top 5 machine, it's hard not to envision him getting into the Final Four because we talked about how consistent Tyler Ankum had been. He went through a rough stretch, right? We had to back off of him for a little bit, but he got back on the horse, and obviously he's somebody we're going to talk about later on because we're going to be talking about every one of these Championship 4 drivers. We anticipate this to be a race in which they're going to be pretty well represented in the top 5 alone. We talked about that yesterday in the Cup Series too, where you have a top 5 parlay with all 4 championship drivers. I mean, you can envision the same in the trucks, but maybe not.
Can you? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that we're going to get that in the Truck Series. I think having guys like Lane Riggs not in here, having guys like Chandler Smith, having guys like Grant Enfinger, a number of other people not in the Final Four. I would say, looking at the Cup Series, we talked about it's for the top drivers, for the top cars, for the top teams. I don't think that's the case in the Truck Series, and I think everybody's earned their way to be here. They've earned their right to be here. We've seen it before. The most underdog of all the underdogs can win these things and take home the championship, even if it's not by winning the race. I mean, Ben Rhodes won it one year by finishing, was he like 9th or 11th place in the race? Like it wasn't even close to winning. And we talked about in the Cup Series, it's only happened one time where the driver who won the championship didn't win the race. It's happened many times in the Truck Series and even the Xfinity Series. It's not as hard and fast of a rule as where you're going to have to basically win the race. Now, if it's going to be between two of these guys, I think you're probably going to win the race in this one. But hey, things can go wrong, right? If something happens to Heim and a piano falls on Majeski, could be wide open for these other two guys. So I think we're still in for a good story either way.
I mean, I know we're in for a good story either way because I guarantee you everybody in that garage, everybody in the entire sport wants to beat Corey Heim, and they're all going to be laying it out on the line to try to get there. So, all right, anything else that we need to set up? Yeah, I mean, obviously it doesn't matter points, right? It's winning or finish the best and get in.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, so like with the Cup Series, right? It's just the best finisher. Whether that's finishing first and beating the other three guys, whether that's finishing, in 32nd and beating the other three guys, doesn't matter. Just finish the best. Stage points don't matter. Nothing else. Just the best finishing position. JDK would like to remind us that if Heim doesn't win, it's an embarrassment, according to Kevin Harvick. And that is absolutely not true, Rod. I alluded to this in the Discord, but look, these guys signed up for the Craftsman Truck Series in 2025 knowing this was the format. That's what you are racing for. It wasn't, we changed it mid-season. Sorry, Heim. We know you wrap this up in April with points, right? But we're going to – no, it's always been you get to this race, and so the 2017 New England Patriots, they're not the world champions. Even though they won every game until the Super Bowl, they didn't even lose a race. They won every race throughout the entire season except for the championship race. So they're not the Super Bowl champions because that's how it works. So if Corey Heim doesn't win of this group this week, he's not the champion, and that's how it works. That's what this format is. Now, we can have an argument on what we think about that format and what the format should be, and it's 99% sure that it's going to be changing, right? So that's fine. Whatever the format is next year, whoever wins into that format, they're the legit champion, and it's not an embarrassment for that. And think of how exciting the race was at Martinsville last week and how exciting things were at Talladega and how fucking boring that would have been if in April we just handed Corey Heim the championship trophy because nobody was going to catch him, right? Look at IndyCar, look at F1 some of the past years. Pretty fucking boring championship races. So, I think that definitely not an embarrassment. And hey, this is a format. Go win it. And if you are the best, like everybody says, if you're the true champion, show us.
Well, and I think this is a perfect conversation to have after the championship race and one of the first episodes that we do in the postseason, because then we can start to speculate on what exactly we think it's going to look like and what that entails. And is that the right fit for NASCAR? Because there's a lot of moving parts right now, especially with the lawsuit stuff going on. It's going to be a fun offseason, and we're going to have plenty to talk about. But, Cody, let's get down to the business of talking about this Truck Series championship race. Start setting the betting cards. Who do you have first?
Yeah, so I'm going to start with Ty Majeski. Right, I'm going to take his top three. You can get that at plus 140. Get that over on Bet365. ESPN, for some reason, still doesn't have finishing positions posted. Taking their sweet-ass time. But I am going to take Ty Majeski. So, obviously, you look at this group of the championship four. Corey Heim is the clear favorite, and Majeski's right behind him. He's a defending champion. He's been the other short, flat guy. Him and Riggs really have been the guys that have dominated on that level. And so I think that, if Heim goes out and wins this race, fine, whatever. If Riggs goes out and wins this race, fine, whatever. If Smith does. Majeski just has to be in the top three, and I think he's going to be able to get that done because, yes, the pianos were falling early in the season. Thank God they were because we got the bigger championship odds tickets that are sitting there waiting to be cashed now if he does pull off this championship. But down the stretch, it's been really, really good for one Ty Majeski here. So you go all the way back to June at Lime Rock where he finished in second place. He's not finished worse than eighth place since that race. A second, a seventh, a second, a third, an eighth, a fifth, a fourth, a fifth, a third, a seventh. no wins. He actually has not won on the entire season, which is a shocking. To go back and look at what his win total was, but I'm sure it was 1.5, 2.5, maybe even coming off of being the defending champion, winning multiple races the last couple of years. But he's a guy that's going to put himself in position. I don't know that he has enough for Corey Heim. We'll talk about that in a little bit if he does, or maybe if he doesn't. But just to finish in the top 3 as one of the top 2 with a gap in between the other 2 championship guys, I think Majeski can do that. And the pianos just haven't been falling lately. Maybe that piano store that was delivering to Majeski shut down. It's tough times right now. But yeah, give me Tyrone Majeski, top 3 at plus 140.
I have plenty more to say about Ty Majeski later in the episode, but I completely agree with you. And look, Billy Joel stopped singing. That's why Majeski is actually doing well. TK's got some funny stuff going on right now. To defend Marcus, he did comment on the truck podcast before when Bell was at Watkins Glen in the 52. That's true.
He did pick Christopher Bell to win that truck race.
See 1,000%. But no, I agree. Like I said, this Piano Man thing, it's fun when it's happening, and then when it stops, you have to know when to let off the gas and hit the brakes on it. So we're definitely there. And, like I said, I got a little more to say about him in a second. I'm going to pick a couple of non-playoff drivers to start out the card, and I'm going to take Gio Ruggiero. He's in a matchup against Brent Cruz over on ESPN and a couple of different places as well. But I'm taking the ESPN number off of this one. Minus 120 for Gio over Cruz. Honestly, this will be a very tight contest, and Cody, I believe that yours can still cash and mine can still cash because I believe that Gio Ruggiero is a man on the rise at this point, obviously with that big win at Talladega, but that wasn't just a flash in the pan, right? A 4th place at Loudon just a couple of weeks ago after starting in 14th, right? So a top 5 finish there for him. He's coming into his own, right? This Tricon truck, he's watching his teammates do so impressively well that he's like, all right, when's it going to be my turn? Right, and he turned a 4th place finish at a mile track, right, just a little over a mile just recently. In Martinsville, he started on the outside pole, right, carried that momentum from Talladega with him into Martinsville. Unfortunately, got moil sacked and could not turn in a top 5 finish, but ended up with an 11th place finish after just Martinsville was just a rough race for a lot of guys, and Gio Ruggiero was one of them. Obviously was running very well most of the day until he got moil sacked and ended up 11th, but still not a bad finish for him at all. And not to say that Brent Cruz is not going to do well. In fact, I do believe he's going to have another strong showing. Cody's going to talk about his stats in just a second, right? A couple of very strong finishes at the Roval and Martinsville. But before that, he's been a little suspect on some of these tracks, right? IRP, 23rd on that track. Loudon, he finished in 17th. He did start 7th on that one. So I just feel like this 17 truck has found something at the end of the season to carry it through. And I just think it's just enough, right? Just enough to beat Brent Cruz in a fellow Tricon truck as well, but just enough to beat his teammate, the full-timer versus the part-timer. Granted, as talented as Brent Cruz is, Gio Ruggiero has found another gear, and I like it. Laura saying, Gio top 5, you think? Laura, Gio top 5, I think, in fact, because I did take Gio's top 5 in this same box, as Cody can attest, as he's shaking his head, looking right at the dock. I'm getting plus 425 on Bet365 for his top 5. Like I said, right? I mean, it's hard to ignore the run that he's been on. That 4th place at Loudon screams very loud to me. and it just makes me feel like there's another top 5 finish in his. He could be one of the guys that really upsets a playoff driver's day in my estimates, because it's just the way he's been running lately. He's not afraid to run up front. He's not afraid to lead laps. He's led laps in each of the last 2 races. And so, yeah, Gio Ruggiero, definitely a good top 5 candidate. And if that's the case, then it may be one spot more than Brent Cruz, but it's definitely going to be just slightly ahead of Brent Cruz.
Yeah, I don't completely hate the Gio over Cruz angle I'm about to give you here in a minute. Obviously, like you said, my thoughts on Cruz, but I think that if you hit the bet I give on him and you miss out on the other one, it's not going to be crazy. But to your point, it's not been all good runs for for Cruz by any means in his Truck Series time. So, and Gio, he's kind of found that next level here lately. So, and I love in his top 5 at plus 425, I think is some great value. And Laura, I think, agrees with you. So that's always a good thing.
Yeah, well, that's a perfect thing because she's way, way smarter or better than I am. But, the 425 for a top 5 when the guy's got 2 top 5 finishes in the last 3 races and one of them was a win, like that. I know we harp on value bets, but that is 1,000% a value bet, right? It seems like that you shouldn't have it close to 5-1 for that. There's other books out there that actually no other books have top 5, so never mind. See what I did there?
Good burn, Rod. That was a sick burn, I think is what I don't think the kids say that anymore, but they used to say that.
6 or 7 of them do. All right, Cody, who's the next guy up on the list?
Oh, that should not be so funny, but it is. Brent Cruz. I know you just talked a bunch of shit about him, Rod, but I'm going to take his top 5. 5-1. Look, he cashed for us last week in Martinsville. We gave out this bet, and it worked for us. He led 53 laps. He looked great up there. Up front, you thought for a while, maybe he's going to have a shot at the 40-1 we gave out for him to win the race because he was looking good. Late caution the caution where they gave Heim the fucking lead, which was bullshit, kind of screwed him over. But that's okay. Neither here nor there. Either way, we cashed the top 5. I'll take it. But yeah, he's looked really impressive in his last 2 starts in particular because, this is the last 2 starts, isn't it? Last 2 starts, Rod. Obviously, the 4th place at Martinsville and the 2nd place at Charlotte Roval, where they led 56 laps. So the last 2 outings, 56 laps led, 53 laps led, been running up front, 2 completely different disciplines, right? A road course, a short flat track. You like the short flat leading into this. Like you said, the rest of the stuff hasn't been great. Some very comparable tracks to Phoenix, New Hampshire 17th, North Wilkesboro 22nd. You'd like to see better. Richmond is sort of comparable as well. 16th, IRP sort of comparable, 23rd. Not the results we're looking for, but I think maybe he's kind of taken that step. Don't forget the kid's like 13, so he's quickly learning as he continues to grow up here. But the last 2 starts super impressive. We cashed on it last week already. Let's roll some of that money back into this week. Give me Brent Cruz top 5 at 5-1. Again, he's in that one truck for Tricon, which has gone well for him. Some of those starts were in that, was it Brent Cruz Racing or whatever team he just randomly started. That he didn't start because he's not old enough to start, so his stepdad started, whatever the story was. But this is the Tricon truck, which teammates with Gio, of course, and teammates with Heim. So those are some pretty good trucks.
And honestly, we talk a lot about equipment and driver and the relationship that the two have between it, whether a good driver can elevate bad equipment or a bad driver can, tank good equipment. And in this instance, Cruz, there's I love it because when you watch like baseball or football or something and you see a player and they're just kind of like, man, and then all of a sudden there's that takeoff game, right? And then all of a sudden a couple weeks later you just see their numbers just skyrocket and you're like, wow, where did that come from? Mm-hmm. And it doesn't plateau, right? A lot of times it just kind of continues to elevate until it has to plateau because it can't get any higher. Brent Cruz is on that upward swing.
It's that breakout game from a rookie, right? Like, oh, we know this guy is going to be good. And his first couple games, he got some rushes. He just hasn't. And then, boom, he had 100 yards rushing, and he's off to the races. And until he breaks his ankle, Cam Scadamy was just fucking great, right? But R.I.P. It was rough. But that's a great comparison, I think, because young guys, we're going to be good. And once they started hitting, and hopefully Brent Cruz has better results than Scadamy does.
Man, I don't want to. And let's not bring up Genty in that conversation. I know a lot of folks like to do that as well. Exactly.
Is he going to be in the league next year, or did he? I don't remember. Did he get drafted this year? He's coming out. He's coming out next year, right?
Getting sent back to Boise State. Okay. That's where he belongs. Yeah. But yeah. All right.
Probably Boise State might be able to beat Las Vegas at this point. So. JDK's even switched his allegiance. He's a Tampa Bay fan.
Can we get like a regulation on this one where it's just we send them down to somewhere else? I don't know.
And this is notable. So Laura says Cruz is not on her list. I've noticed that, Laura, on the back stuff. Sometimes I was unable to bet on. I didn't get the top 5 last week when I gave out. He's not 18, and so like DraftKings won't list him because he's not 18 because he's a minor. Some books will. Whatever service your site is pulling from probably doesn't have him listed because he's a minor. So you're not going to find Brent Cruz on every place. Now, this was Bet365's where I pulled this from. he is available over there. But yeah, unfortunately, not every site's going to have them because of the age.
Also, remember, it's Crews, Crews, not Cruz. So that could be you're looking for the wrong guy. So remember, it's
yes.
Crews.
If you do type it in, yes, it is. It is Cruz like Pit Crews, not Cruz like Santa Cruz. You know?
Exactly. Ooh, which I gotta go. I haven't been there in so long. All right, let's get to more of our favorite bets. But first, let me tell you, as you squirrel moment me, bro, you completely squirrel moment me. All right, let me tell you about our friends over. He takes a drink because he knows I'm going into the bad break. Underdog. Underdog is your home for pick'em entries where you can win up to 5,000 times your entry. Looking right now at Derrick Henry's rushing stats for this Thursday night games. Underdog has got this at 90.5. I know Lamar Jackson's back, but I guarantee you right now, Derrick Henry's going to have to carry that load until Lamar is 1,000%. So I'm going to venture on the higher. I think this is really only because I need him to really go off on Thursday night so I can win my matchup, my fantasy matchup. So this is me hopeful thinking. But there's some stats to back it up. So give me Derrick Henry higher than 90.5 rushing yards in this Thursday night game between Baltimore and Miami. Plus Miami's just a porous defense. So I like that. Underdog's got a brand new offer for new customers. You play just $5, you get $100 in bonus funds when you sign up with our promo code RACE, SGPN. NFL's back, baby, and Rhythm is crushing it in college football and the NFL. And now they just added the NBA because why not make things better for you? Rhythm is also giving away weekly cash prizes just for tracking your bets in the app. You can track 5 bets of the same type from any model you build, and you can win up to $1,000. Trying to look right now at some of these top 5 predictions that Rhythm's got going for us. They've got the Saints and the Rams, which, you know, you're going to need a little something to bet on the Saints and the Rams. 46 is the predicted total points in this game. Whatever you're looking at in your book here for whatever the total is, 46.5 for the Rams and the Saints. Might want to venture on the under. I don't know. But, yeah, 46 points is what the Rhythm folks are telling us right now. Use promo code SGPN25 when you download the Rhythm app for 25% off of your first month. Download Rhythm and use promo code SGPN25. Like I said, I just was recently, I'm in a league, not recently in a league, but I'm in a league right now where if you play a team from your same division that you can steal from, you can steal. I had a very tough decision because I didn't know whether or not to take Jalen Hurts. I've already got Patrick Mahomes and Matthew Stafford, right? And he protected Jonathan Taylor, which sucked because I really wanted Jonathan Taylor.
Oh, I fucking lost Jonathan Taylor in our Pirate League this week. That is brutal.
It's so vicious.
Just unlike one of the best teams. I have Taylor, so I have been, but of course I played the number 1 team, and that was not good for me.
So vicious. Anyways, God, I love fantasy. I love sports. Cody, I love this. This is such a great life. I don't know how anybody else can live any other different, but absolutely love it. Thank you guys for hanging with us and listening to all of this nonsense as you do week after week after week.
Absolutely. Before we get into the next bet on yet another young gun, Rod, I wanted to take a moment to reflect on an old gun, not a young gun, an old gun. Matt Crafton is ending his full-time truck series career this weekend. By the way, Ty Majeski is going to be in that 88 Menards Ford beginning next year, which will be something to get used to for sure. But shout out to Mr. Crafton. He's made 3 Cup Series starts in his career, so props to him for that. He's got 4 Xfinity starts rather. 3 top 10s and 4 starts, by the way, in the Xfinity Series is pretty impressive. But he is making his 592nd start in the Craftsman Truck Series. 26 seasons he has been doing this. His first race was the let's see. Well, where was the stat at? I don't know where the first race went, but anyways, 26 seasons. Holy shit. That's a long time. So 3-time Truck Series champion, 2013, 2014, 2019. There it is. His first race was the 2000 Motorola 200 at Auto Club, RIP, Speedway. His first win didn't come until 2008 at Charlotte in the North Carolina Education Lottery 200. His last win, Kansas Speedway, back in 2020. Only 15 wins is that number actually kind of shocked me, but 3 championships, 15 wins, 333 top 10s. So shout out to the old man on his way out. We don't have any bets on him. I thought about throwing in the last race top 5, but yeah, you're probably just wasting money at that point.
I mean, you could just Venmo me whatever you're going to put on that, because that is not going to hit. And listen, I'm about to cross 21 years. Well, I actually crossed 21 years in the military. I can only imagine what 26 years is going to feel like behind the wheel of the same thing that you've done for the last 26 years. So hats off to you, Matt. I'm getting there, but damn.
Yeah, and I don't know if we'll still see him limited or not. He's not really talked about that. I know he does a lot of the dirt modified stuff with his very young lady friend. But I think he's going to spend more time doing that with her. So shout out to him for that. Hey, if it works for you, whatever. So he'll still be around doing that, but I don't know if we'll see him in the truck series anymore, but wanted to give him props before we dive into another young gun. Because I think that young guns, these guys are racing for their future right now, and they've got a lot going on in this race. That's why I like the Brent Cruz top 5. I love.
Are you skipping? Are you skipping over me? I didn't give out my second.
Is it
bet
your
yet.
turn?
Yeah.
I'm so excited about this next bet that I didn't want to let you go, but I guess I'll allow you to give out yours. And stay tuned, because I have a bet that I really love coming up next.
You're trying to put Grandpa in a home already. I know Matt Crafton's retiring. I am not. I'm still here, my friend.
Oh, that was my speech about you, Rod. Now I got one about Crafton too. He started 695 episodes ago on the NASCAR Gambling Podcast.
Well, it was a fun run.
You got more
guys.
starts than Matt Crafton does.
I do. All right, fine. Let's go to my next bet. I'm going to take Tyler Ankum. He is in a matchup against Grant Enfinger. Again, we didn't get a whole lot to choose from, so I got a couple of head-to-heads this time. But Tyler Ankum over Grant Enfinger, minus 115. You're going to have to really go on faith on this one, only because if you really look at the down and dirty stats as far as Phoenix Raceway altogether, this is going to lean heavily in the direction of Grant Enfinger. Grant Enfinger, 5 top 10 starts in 8 starts here, 3 top 5 finishes, the last 3 of which have been top 6 finishes, 6th place in 2022. Remember, these guys only come here once a year. This is only for the championship race, as it were, now, but they only come here once a year. So 6th in 2022, 6th in 2023, 5th in 2024 for Grant Enfinger. And for Tyler Ankum on this racetrack, 2 top 10s and 7 finishes. None of them have come within the last 4 seasons. 33rd last year, he crashed out of this race. 22nd the year before that, 14th, 8th in the 26th truck rather, and then 26th in the 17 and 6th in the 17. So not a really great history here for Tyler Ankum at the Phoenix Raceway, but there is one gigantic thing separating these two. One's got championship aspirations, the other does not. So Grant Enfinger, obviously not in the championship 4. Tyler Ankum is in the championship 4. So a lot like I said with the Cup Series yesterday, right? When these guys swing for the fences, if they miss, they're not going to miss by much, right? You can't really have a mistake that sends you completely out of the top 5, because if you're outside of the top 5, you're not in contention to win. So you either play it safe when you have to play it safe, or you come in for tires when you have to come in for tires. Like the strategy changes so much. Rather than a guy like Grant Enfinger, yeah, he doesn't have much to run for. I'm hitting my microphone all over the place. Yeah, he doesn't have much to run for, but at the same time, they're still not going to gamble a whole lot. Yeah, I know that they want to win races. I know that these non-playoff guys still factor into the mix. And a guy like Grant Enfinger can still probably get you a top 5 finish. But for Tyler Ankum, there's so much more on the line that you're going to need to pay attention to. And for Grant Enfinger, he is on a little bit of a not good stretch, right? 12th at Martinsville last week, 36th at Talladega. He did get 7th at the Roval. That's cool. 6th at Loudon. I know I harkened back to that earlier as being sort of a similar track, but 21st at Bristol, 3rd at Darlington, 13th at Richmond, 24th at Watkins Glen. Just highly inconsistent for Grant Enfinger, and really that cost him a shot at really being inside of the championship 4, right? There was an opportunity for him to get there. He couldn't close the deal. Tyler Ankum, on the other hand, 4 good solid races, and actually 5 of the last 6 solid races. And you can even go back to Lime Rock, right? Really, Lime Rock 10th, IRP 8th, Watkins Glen 5th, Richmond 11th, Darlington 7th. Bristol was a bad race for him. Started 3rd, finished 20th. Loudon was an 11th place finish, but the last 3, 9th at the Roval, 6th at Talladega, 9th at Martinsville. So, again, there's a lot on the line for this 18 team. They need to, because honestly, when you're talking about Heim, when you're talking about even Kaden Honeycutt coming up where he is, it feels like the forgotten guy in this whole mix is Tyler Ankum. So at the very least, right? At the very least, I can see him finishing somewhere in the top 5, better than Grant Enfinger at -115 at the very least as well.
Yeah, I think you might have talked me into this one. Couple of things, Enfinger, you think, oh man, he's so good at short tracks. Well, he's good everywhere. He's good week to week, but like you pointed out, it's not been so good lately. And you think about guys who have one foot on their way to vacation in Cabo, and Enfinger's not really that guy, right? You think, oh, blue collar hard worker, but he's probably tired, right? It's another long season. He'll be back next year. We'll do it again. He's not in the mix anymore. And Ankrum's got a lot to race for. And you've hit a lot of bets on Ankum this year, top 5s, and just in surprising fashion. So this is a big opportunity for Ankum. It's obviously a fast truck. We know the McAnally Hilgeman brings good trucks to the track. So when I saw this in there, I was like, I don't know if I would do that. But I think you talked me into it, Rod. So I'll back you on this play.
Hey, listen, if I can convince you, I can convince the rest of the listening public. So I absolutely love it.
That's the goal. All right, Rod. Finally, now that you're done.
Wait. I can't let you. No, I'm just kidding.
If you shut up now, I'll give out this bet that I have this bet that I really love. I would like to get to it already. No, 28-1 for a top 5 on Luke Baldwin. I absolutely love this bet. Luke has made 4 starts this season, and he's gotten better. Okay, not each and every time, but he's gotten better throughout the starts, right? 22nd in the first start at Martinsville, but he was very fast in practice, and is going to be fast in practice. He is the king of practice. He's going to look good. So get him before the practice session, which is on Friday, by the way. So if you're listening to this Thursday morning or this evening or Wednesday, get that earlier rather than later. But 22nd at Martinsville, but is running much better than that. Got spun out at a point and had, didn't get a good finish. 30th at Kansas, fine, 1.5 miles. 13th at North Wilkesboro. Very comparable track to Phoenix here. A 13th place run. Again, we don't get top 10s that we can bet on, but 13th is not that far outside of the top 10. There was also Cup guys in that North Wilkesboro race. You don't have those guys in there now. He could improve a little bit more. And then 12th place at Pocono. So a little bit better throughout the season. 22nd, 30th in those first starts. 13th, 12th. We're moving forward a little bit. He's a short, flat guy. Great in the modified series. He just won a championship over there. He helped his dad win not his dad. Well, Tommy's part of it all, but helped Rick Ware win the Cars Tour, one of those owners titles or whatever, rather. But he's been performing really well. This is his type of racing. And this is a guy with big aspirations for the future. You got to come out and show what you have at a race like this on a championship stage, jumping in a good truck. ThorSport has great trucks, right? Ty Majeski, one of those trucks. Ben Rhodes has won how many times here to win the championship? So, yeah, I really, really like Luke Baldwin this week. 28-1, I think, is a crazy number. And after practice, see you later. You're not going to get this number again. So you got to bet this one early. But Luke Baldwin definitely has it in him. And for as far as a long shot goes, I really like this bet, and I think you got to get in on it.
Could you imagine a top 10 at 16-1 or 14-1 or something like that? That would be a fantastic bet to make. I am going to look at one of my first things that I'm going to do during the off season is I'm going to make a phone call. I'm contacting every single book. We're going to have a summit. We're going to figure out what the hell is keeping them from giving us top 10s on these. So mark my words. I'm on the phone as soon as the season's over.
I like it. TK pointed out, too, with a good point. You remember at the Roval, that crazy, just dumped everybody that was in the playoffs in turn 1 or whatever. But, yeah, might try to run a bit cleaner after that Roval race. Doesn't want to mess it up for the Final Four. Very much a possibility, might just kind of stay out of the way. Not that he's just going to, give up and let everybody go, but he might be a lot less aggressive because he doesn't want to be put people in that situation that he did at the Roval. So, yeah, to your Ankum over Enfinger bet, I think that's a great point there by TK.
Thank you, TK. This is why you got to be in the Discord and join us for these shows as well, because there's a lot of great knowledge amongst our listening public. All right, because we don't get top 10s, fine. Raja Karuth, top 5. He's plus 550 on 365. I'll tell you right now that there are the other books that are giving close to these. It's not as nice as plus 550 over on Bet365. So if he's a little bit lower, you might want to shy away. This is another long shot. I don't have as much confidence in Raja Karuth as a top 5 as Cody does in it, but this is a possibility for the 71, right? I mean, we've obviously seen Raja Karuth. He had an opportunity to make the Final Four. Unfortunately, crashed out of the race at Martinsville, but he did start in the top 10. He started 7th place in that race after finishing 9th at Talladega, 4th at the Roval, they're 10th at IRP. But you look at earlier in the season, right? He did have that win at Nashville. Nashville, another mile track, right? Where it's not the mile and a half. It's not a road course. It's not a whatever silly other one that they got. But Nashville, he actually won that race, which put him into the playoff hunt. He finished 3rd at Texas, a pretty wide, expansive mile and a half, right? 4th at Rockingham before that, 9th at Bristol, 8th at Martinsville, 7th at Las Vegas. He is so capable of finishing somewhere close to the top 5 that, plus 550, he could be one of those guys that sort of upsets the apple cart in these drivers trying to go for the championship, because it's not as if he's without talent. And in fact, we know right next year, not going to be here anymore. Right, this will be the last truck race for him of the season or of his career, maybe, depending on if he comes back.
Well, I think he's gonna dabble in trucks next year, but
they probably will.
It'll be mainly focused on chasing the Xfinity Championship.
Yeah, exactly. So he's not even going to be a Truck Series regular anymore. So he's going out. He's got nothing left to lose at this point, just to go out and have a nice, clean race with that HendrickCars.com on his hood, right? And for Raja Karuth, what better way to sail out than with a top 5? And like I said, plus 550, it's not as long of a shot. It's not as sexy as your Baldwin, but it's definitely one that I think is attainable if he can run a clean race, stay out of trouble, and just do what he's got to do to get there.
Thank you for saying my Baldwin is sexy, Rod. That's a very nice compliment.
It is sexy. Hey, what did I Google when I was pulling up a sexy saxophone solo at the beginning of the show? Spoiler alert. So look, a little bit behind the scenes. As we were logging on, I was really looking for this sexy sax lick that I could play as we got going, because it was an After Dark episode, right? So I held Cody up for like 3 minutes as I Googled the sexy saxophone solo so I could play that as we were going in. It was
worth every moment of waiting.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much, Rod. I don't mind this play on Raja Karuth. I don't know. Not overly sold on him, especially outside of a mile and a half track or a 1.33 like a Nashville is. But I don't hate it. I'm going to go against him in this group that I'm about to give out. But if you hit his top 5 at plus 550, you're not going to care as much about the group. So that's fine. Bet365. They've got a group labeled group number C. That's where I'm going to go for this one. Ben Rhodes, the long shot in this one, plus 500. Unfortunately, I looked back and I have a lot of Ben Rhodes championship futures as well. Those will be marked as losses after this week, unfortunately. But hey, that's okay. He's always worth a long shot. But he's been very, very good at this track. He's the long shot in this Group C at 5-1. And in this group is Raja Karuth, who you just made a case for. I think you made a solid case. I'm not as sold. And if he beats us, he beats us. If he gets the top 5 again, you're getting the plus 550 over there, so I don't mind it. Daniel Hemrick's in this group. He actually scares me the most, just because Daniel Hemrick can be really good. And I'm actually going to talk about him more in a minute for a different bet. But at plus 500, plus 500 for Rhodes in this group, willing to take it, right? So, and then the other guy in this group is Corey LaJoie. And the point was made earlier in the chat, and that was by TK. And he says, to defend LaJoie, he seems to only be running the trucks due to the being under cup contract with Spire. Hard not to be bitter when your team uses your cup contract to force you into a lower series. That's 1,000% what it is they traded him over to Rick Ware Racing, right? But they still have to pay out that contract that he signed with them. So they've been paying him on this contract, and they're like, fuck, we got to find somebody to put in this truck for the rest of the year. And they're looking around, and they're like, hey, isn't Corey LaJoie still on the books? yeah, Corey LaJoy's son. Fuck, we don't have to pay somebody else to do this? Fuck, put him in the truck. And so if he wants to keep getting paid on that cup contract, but he's got to run these races, he's made it very clear he doesn't give a fuck. Like, he does not care. He does not want to be running these truck races. He doesn't care how he does. He's just ready for the season to be over. And as a fan of his, that's really kind of turned me off, that attitude. But he's starting some other stuff off track. Like, I think he's done. I don't know if we see a Corey LaJoy in a NASCAR event after this. Maybe he throws something together for Super Speedway, is able to put it in and take a shot. But I think we're pretty much done with Corey LaJoy, and it's sad, but he doesn't give a fuck. So am I going to bet against a guy that doesn't give a fuck? Yeah, I am. So I don't mind that at all either. And so on top of those guys all kind of being pedestrian or whatever, Ben Rhodes has been amazing at this track. 10 starts at Phoenix. You go all the way back to his first career start of 5th place. Then he had a 14th, a 20th, and a 12th. Okay, fine, whoop-de-woo. 2019 on, though, 4th, 7th, 3rd, 2nd, 5th, 9th. He has been good every single year. He's won 2 championships at this track in the championship race. He didn't need to win the races to do it. Just show up with solid performances. So, I think that Ben Rhodes has been great at this track, and I think that at this number, plus 500, just doesn't have to go get a top 5, and maybe you do to win this group, but I don't think you necessarily have to win this group. But you just go out and have a decent day. And, I know we didn't get the playoffs that we had hoped for, but he's been okay in the playoffs. He's had some decent runs, 14th, 16th, but a 2nd place at Bristol, he could definitely jump up. At 8th place at Richmond, Lime Rock, he was 4th. At Michigan, he was 4th. Texas, 6th. Martinsville, 5th in the spring. He's had some good runs throughout the season. 5-1 just to beat 3 other guys. I like this on Ben Rhodes.
He's got top 5. He's got race winning potential every time he gets in that truck. Like, we forget because of recency bias that Ben Rhodes is a damn good truck driver, right? It's just sometimes when they don't perform, a la Kyle Busch, you just forget that they're a good race car driver. You forget that they're a good racer. And maybe there is a fall off. Yeah. But with Ben Rhodes, I think we've exaggerated that fall off because this season has been way off the mark from what a lot of people were expecting out of him. You included, me included. I did expect Ben Rhodes to be much better than he was this season. I'm sure Ben Rhodes expected he was going to be much better than he was this season. So, yeah, it's definitely. But look, there's nothing that sends you back into your locker room with a better feeling than to actually have a good, solid top 5 run or something like that, which Ben Rhodes is fully capable of doing. And if he does that, I do believe he'll beat LaJoy. I definitely think he'll beat Hemrick and Carruth. Where Carruth, like I said, is a top 5, but Ben Rhodes has a top 4. Yeah, Carruth has a top 5.
That's the thing. You could hit both of these, and look, the Carruth one is 5-1. So if it doesn't hit, fine. Maybe the Rhodes one does hit, and you hit that one instead. Maybe the Carruth one hits, the Rhodes one doesn't. It can play in your favor, kind of any way that it falls.
Betting is not an exact science like some people want you to think. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it.
If it was, Rod, we probably would just be retired. But,
if it was, the books would not exist because they would not be able to survive.
And, just a quick aside, that's what makes it exciting. So it makes it fun. I've seen some people, I'm done with NASCAR betting. I'm not going to do this anymore. There's nothing left in it. Shut the fuck up and have some fun. Jesus fucking Christ, people. Don't be so goddamn serious, Rod. I mean, have some fun. I mean, yeah, obviously we're here to fucking win money, but it's called gambling. I don't know. You maybe look that up, see what the definition is. But have fun with it. That's what it is. Okay, sorry.
If 9-1s don't excite you, I don't know what else can, right?
I just gave you a 28-1 top 5 that at some point in the race is probably going to give you a little bit of a sweat.
Exactly.
I don't care if it gives me a sweat and it doesn't cash. I got what I was looking for. So I don't know.
Yeah, I know people gamble for different reasons. It's for sure.
That's true.
All right, let's talk about a guy that is in the playoffs, and he is Kaden Honeycutt. Obviously, we talked about him switching teams from Nice over to that nice little vacated Canadian ride. His top 3, plus 275. And I said this yesterday in the Cup Series episode, which, by the way, if you have not listened to yet, go back and listen to it after you're done here. But when these playoff drivers, when they swing for the fences and they miss, they don't normally miss in the 30 range, right? They miss in the top 10, in the top 5. their miss usually costs them the win, not necessarily a really solid finish, right? And so for Kaden Honeycutt, it's the same thing. This 52 team has actually been doing so well for him lately. His top 3 is plus 275. Obviously, he's in the top or the championship 4, which means he's definitely destined to be a top 5 runner for most of the day. And if you look at his finishes here at Phoenix, to be honest with you, I don't know why his top 5 is even at almost 3-1, right? Because he's finished 9th, 8th, 7th in the last 3 races. It's only 3 races, by the way, on this track. And he's done it, by the way, in 3 different trucks. In the 30 truck, he finished 9th in 2022. In the 02 truck, the Young Motorsports truck, he finished 8th in 2023. And then in that 45 Nice truck, he finished 7th in 2024. Now, granted, the next number in that procession or that is 6, but I'm going to skip ahead 1 and go to 5. Because if numbers mean anything to you, then you're going to be like, Rod, the next one is 6. No, I get it, but we're going to give him top 5 only because obviously he is in the playoff race and he's going to need a win I think he's going to need a win to win this, obviously, because you got to beat Corey Heim, and really to beat Corey Heim, you got to win. What did he do last week? He finished 2nd at Martinsville to Corey Heim. That close, Cody, that close to beating. Well, maybe not that close, but still, it was a sweat for a little bit. But Kaden Honeycutt finished 2nd in that race. He finished 7th at Loudon. We talked about another mile track, right? So this has just been one of those runs for Kaden Honeycutt that he's opened a lot of eyes, to be honest with you. We talked about him a little bit in the beginning of the season, right? We talked about him when he finished 8th at Bristol and 6th at Rockingham, and then 8th at Kansas and 8th at North Wilkesboro and 3rd at Charlotte. We were like, hey, there's a little something to Kaden Honeycutt, right? We were starting to open our eyes, and then he makes the playoffs, and now he's making the championship 4. So I think it's going to be Heim. I think it's going to be Honeycutt and Majeski pretty much battling it out for this, because I think those 3 are the strongest running trucks right now in the series, and I think it's going to be between those 3. And if it finishes 1, 2, 3, well, I think Kaden Honeycutt's going to be in that mix. So give me his top 3 right now at plus 275.
Yeah, I actually really like this. I've got some more thoughts on Honeycutt here in a little bit, so I'll touch on it more then. But he's been great, and you said you think that we've seen some stuff. Some other people have too. He's the driver of that number 11 truck. It's not been announced yet. He's going to take over for Corey Heim next year in that truck and be expected to be the next guy for Tricon. So there's high hopes and high expectations for him. He's obviously been performing well. I don't think that many people had him making the Final Four, especially when you go through a mid-season team swap and you piece together a random start on a random team to keep your eligibility alive. And now he's in the championship 4. So one of those deals where he's got nothing to lose. Just go out and there's no expectations there. There's something to be said for that. A guy like Corey Heim has so much pressure because if he doesn't win, this is the worst atrocity that's ever been committed in NASCAR. And for a guy like Honeycutt, he doesn't have that. So I like that. TK checking in says, being new to NASCAR, especially the trucks, never seen Rhodes as a top truck guy, only seeing some of the 24 and most of 25. I could see why that's the case, right? And so he's not a Corey Heim type of guy where he's going to dominate a bunch, but he's always been a guy that can pop up and win races. He's not won any this year, which has been a bit surprising, but he's pretty much won every year. And he's won 2 of the last, 3 championships, I think it was, or 2 of the last, I think it's 2 of the last 4. But those were mostly just like finding a way, very much like Joey Logano, where not impressive every week. Is he going to be racing for the lead, or is he going to be racing with the squirrels? You never know. Finds a way to get to Phoenix, gets to done with the championship. He is basically the Joey Logano of the Truck Series.
And we said that last year, too, to be honest with you. That's exactly what we said last year.
And the thing was, they had the opposite thing going because Joey would win in the even years. Ben would win in the odd years. Mm-hmm. That's why I had so much on Ben this year. But, he didn't hold up his end of the deal, but shit happens.
Indeed. All right, speaking of somebody who didn't hold up their end of the deal.
Yeah, Daniel Hemrick. But nonetheless, I'm going to take his top finishing Chevy plus 375 for Mr. Hemrick. So you look at the Chevy market, and just not a lot scares me. You got Grant Enfinger. Obviously, you kind of made a case against him and how he's been running lately. Tyler Ankum's getting some respect because he's in the championship 4, yes. but I'm not overly scared of him. Daniel Hemrick's next up on the list, and it's Corey LaJoie. Already made a case against him. Caruth. Then it's Parsons, Curry, Mosak. Like it falls off very quickly. Daniel Hemrick just had a horrible, really bad, not good.
Is that a movie?
Horrible. Yes, I think so. It should probably be a documentary. Last round of the Truck Series playoffs and didn't make it. 31st at Martinsville, 34th at Talladega, 12th at New Hampshire. Just it was brutal, and he got bounced, and that's unfortunate. But prior to that, he's been really, really good. 5th at Bristol, 2nd at Darlington, 7th at IRP, finishes a 2nd at Watkins Glen, 5th at Pocono, 4th at North Wilkesboro, 4th at Nashville. Some of these tracks very comparable. Been very consistent guy all season long. I mean, really, until the last round of these last 2 races, he only had 2 finishes outside of the top 16 until the last 2 races. The entire year, things fell apart over the last couple races. Does that carry into this week? Potentially. And if so, fine, we'll lose a plus 375. But I still think that of these Chevy guys, he's one of the best, if not the best in this group. And just not overly scared. Like, if you're looking at the Toyota market, you've got Heim in there. If you're looking at the Ford market, you got Majeski in there. And those markets, I think, are going to be tougher. They're not even offering top Toyota because what's the point? But top Chevy, I think, is pretty wide open. I think plus 375 for as good of a driver as Hemrick is. I think that it's a good number on him, and I'll take it for the top Chevy.
And you think of how good Toyota is, how good Ford is in this field, and it doesn't take much, like you said, to be the top Chevy. I know Caruth, I've been pumping up Caruth, but I mean, a bad day from Caruth.
8th, 9th, 10th, 12th. Like, it may not have to be a stellar day to be the top finishing Chevy, and we see that often with, when it's just a week at the top of the manufacturer board. It might not have to end. 1 or 2 guys have a bad day, right? Caruth has a brake rotor blow. LaJoie has a pit road penalty, and Grant Enfinger blows a tire, and suddenly Daniel Hemrick's now racing against Stephen Parsons and Bailey Curry. So it might not take much to get it, right? But plus 375, I think the number's right for what he's capable of doing. So I'll take it.
God, did we have high hopes for that 19? We saw what Christian Eckes did with it. We thought
he wasn't Christian Eckes good.
No.
But he was good. And Christian Eckes is going to be in the Truck Series again next year with no Corey Heim. Oh, my God. I'm so excited.
We're going to have so much fun with that next year. All right. So, listen, my next bet, we're going to talk about both these drivers in a second. I'm just going to, because, again, like we said, there was not a lot to choose from. I was hoping for a winning car number or winning truck number bet, but Caesars did not give it to us.
I think they're offering you 11 at minus 110.
Did they? Oh, Jesus. If they did, that's 1,000.
Well, it's just Corey Heim. Just
yeah, that's kind of.
But there was no number bands.
Still, I'm looking. I'm actually, you know what? Here we go. You want some live? No, there's still nothing. All right, fine. So I'm going to go with the one that I got. It's a dual forecast, and we're going to talk about both of these guys in just a second. But it's a dual forecast, which means they can finish either first or second. Doesn't matter the order. It's Heim Majeski plus 120. Take that, because I think at the end of the day, those are the 2 cars that are going to be battling it out for the win and for the championship. So, Cody, like I said, we're going to be talking about these guys. Let's just go ahead into that. So my official bet is a dual forecast over on Caesars. It's Heim Majeski plus 120, which means they can either finish first or second. Doesn't matter the order. Cody, let's go right into the winners then, because you're going to be talking about one of those guys right now.
Yeah, I think that it is going to be those 2 guys. I think those are the 2 guys that are really going to race for the win. I think they're going to race for this championship. I think one of the 2 of them will win the race. Luckily, I'm pretty well invested on Majeski, much similar to Chase Briscoe. Bought him at multiple times and multiple numbers throughout the year, so I'm feeling pretty good. I'm sitting pretty good there. And I was kind of waffling back and forth. Do I just take some more on Majeski, be at the price he's at, or is it Heim time? Is this, and we saw this with Zane Smith. Zane Smith was not as dominant as Corey Heim, but the top driver in the Truck Series for a couple of years, just kept not winning the championship, and that's happened to Heim. He's made the Final Four and just hasn't gotten it. But as Marcus said, it's Heim time all the time. It's been Heim time a lot this season. Obviously, we talked about all the wins, but it's been Heim time big time down the stretch. If you go all the way back to June 28th at Lime Rock, so at Pocono in June 20th, he finished in 23rd place. After that, he has not finished outside of the top 3 since June. It is October 29th, and in 3 minutes, it'll be October 30th. on the East Coast. 2 minutes now, Rod. But June 28th is the last time he didn't finish in the top 3. That is insane. He won at Lime Rock. He won at Watkins Glen. He won at Richmond. He won at Daytona. He won at the Roval. 3rd place at Indy. Horrible day. Won at Darlington. 3rd place at Bristol. Oh, my God. The sky's falling. 1st in New Hampshire. 2nd at Talladega. 1st at Martinsville. It is Heim time. He is going to get it done. Everybody can keep their stuff together. He's going to win because he's the deserved champion or whatever. At -110 over on ESPN, it's worse odds in some places. So probably, again, wouldn't wait to get on this. But I think that it is Heim time. I think you just bite the bullet. I think you take it and roll with it because it's amazing how dominant he's been. And I think we'll probably talk a little bit tomorrow about Zilich and his domination and that long run of top 5s and how that's cut off the last couple of races and how does that affect him. But you don't have that with Corey Heim. He's been on. He continues to be on. I think that it is Heim time. And, with TK's point here, he says that I think the show / we kind of had it as Heim, Riggs, Smith, Hemrick as the final 4. Yeah, and you don't have Riggs to race against. That's huge for him. You don't have Smith to race against. Smith's been very good at this track in particular. Don't have Hemrick in there. Majeski's the only guy you're super worried about, and did beat him straight up last year, so I'll give him that. But I think, much like Denny Hamlin in the Cup Series, it's just Heim time. He's going to get it done. -110, I think, is worth the bet. And then, Rod, over on Bet365, they're offering championship odds just to win the championship, not the race. Kaden Honeycutt at +750, I think, is worth just a tiny sprinkle for that. Something goes wrong with Corey Heim and a piano falls on Ty Majeski. Suddenly a 5th, 8th, 10th place finish for Kaden Honeycutt. Nurse it to the end, just get there. Ankrum's nowhere close. Could win him the championship. And as you talked about with the top 3 bet, I think that he can put himself in position. He's coming off the 2nd place last week in Martinsville. Maybe he even just beats these guys heads up. Probably not, but he's had some really good runs this season. And I think he can put himself in position. A +750 just to win the championship, not to win the race. He is 12-1 to win the race if you're feeling spicy, but +750 I think is a nice little, just a tiny insurance policy in case some shit gets crazy, which we've seen once or twice in the Truck Series.
Listen, I understand, and we all know that this is NASCAR. We all know that brakes get squishy. We all know that one wrong move could turn you into the wall and Heim could be taken out. We're telling you obviously that Heim could win this race, should win this race. This should be the foregone conclusion that we're giving Heim the trophy, right? But this isn't an opportunity.
Should have been last year. Should have been the year before.
I'm just
saying. It wasn't
saying,
in either of those years.
There are gremlins out there that can grab you. It's a mechanic. We're dealing with stuff that we can't control. Right, we're dealing with transmissions, we're dealing with brake pedals, we're dealing with tires, we're dealing with all kinds of crazy stuff that, or drivers that are just lazy and can't move out of the way. Understand that Corey Heim should win this, and we're telling you that 110. If you were getting this on a football team, like I just gave you, obviously earlier, the odds for the Toronto Blue Jays to win, it was only +180, right? And you'd be grabbing at that. So Heim to win at 110. I'm with you on this one.
You're getting a -110 money line on the favorite to win the Super Bowl.
You never get that anywhere else, right? So I 100% agree with you on this one. This should be Heim time, 100%. As we've said over and over again this season, which is why I've got him in the dual forecast, because the guy I'm giving out is the guy that should be dueling with them, and that's Ty Majeski, +400 over on ESPN Bet for the win of this race, +240 for a championship outright as well to go along with it. His 2nd straight championship. I know it's difficult to win 1, let alone 2 in a row, but if there's anybody that can get it done, it's Ty Majeski. We joke, right? I mean, we've queued up Billy Joel time and time again this season being the piano man. But much like you were talking about, Cody, as far as the consistency for one Corey Heim, let me take you back to Charlotte. The 11th race of the season where he started 3rd and finished in 23rd. Since that point, right, at Charlotte, that 23rd place finish in the race there at Charlotte, that was back in May 24th of 20. Oh, that's 2024. Let me go back to 2025 where he's actually at. But even still, last year, right? Last year in his championship run, he went on a run from May all the way till the end of the season where he did not finish outside of the top 10. That is an impressive run for Ty Majeski. That is the kind of driver that he is, right? That's the kind of driver that he can be when there's no pianos falling from the sky. And we've seen it time and time again from Ty Majeski, and there's no reason why we can't expect Ty Majeski to turn that in again. Sometimes you just got to know when to actually get it done. And like we said, Ty Majeski's just that guy that we can count on to get it done. Him and Corey Heim, I think they're going to be battling the entire way. And it's just, you can't give me a number like 4-1 on a playoff driver to win this particular race.
Yeah, on the slight Super Bowl underdog, basically, right? I like this. And I think if I wasn't already invested in Majeski, I probably would have went the Majeski route over the Heim route. I think that the story's there for Heim. I think that he should be able to put it together. We've seen him improve on the short flat tracks because that was kind of his Achilles heel previously. But Majeski got the best of him last year, so it's hard to argue that Majeski couldn't do it again.
Indeed. Well, and so like I'm trying to add to this point, but since Michigan, he hasn't had a finish outside of the top 10 this season as well. So he's on another one of those runs where he's just killing it right now. He has not had a top 10 finish outside of the top 10 finish.
Yeah, that was the first bet I gave out was the top 3 finish because he has been that consistent. And I think he's going to be, much like with the Cup race, I think it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. I think in this race, it's going to be 1, 2 with him and with Majeski and Heim. I think they're going to be right there. I don't know if I have as much faith in Honeycutt and Ankum to be right there with them. Again, other bigger guys in this race or whatever that didn't make the championship 4, but I think that these two guys are going to be the class of the field. I think they're going to be the two to beat. You take like that insurance play on a Honeycutt just in case something goes wrong because we've seen it, right? Justin Allgaier won last year. He was 2 laps down, don't forget, at one point during that race. Crazy stuff happens. Guys get behind the 8 ball, and obviously worked out for Allgaier, but things can definitely go wrong. So, yeah, I really think it's probably going to be one of those two guys, obviously stating the obvious, I guess. But, yeah, I think it's good to have action on both.
Well, and we've talked about it all season long, too. The truck series has tended to be a little bit more chalky when it comes to the top of the charts than most of the other series. So, yep, think it's going to be Heim. Think it's going to be Majeski, which is why that dual forecast is also in play at plus money as well. All right, get out your pen and paper. Time to go over our bets for this NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series Championship race. Cody started you off with Ty Majeski, the aforementioned Ty Majeski, as the top 3 truck at plus 140. I gave you Gio Ruggiero over Brent Crews, Crews, at minus 120 over on ESPN. Plus, I also tossed in Gio as a top 5. Look, I kind of don't really care where you get him at. Plus 425 over on Bet365 if you have that available to you. And then Cody tossed in at Brent Crews, Crews, as a top 5 truck at 5-1. I tossed in Tyler Ankum over Grant Enfinger at minus 115 over on ESPN. Cody gave you Baldwin as a top 5 truck at 28-1. I said Raja Karuth as a top 5 truck at plus 550 over at 365. Cody gave you Ben Rhodes to win Group C over on Bet365 at 5-1 over LaJoy, Hemrick, and Caruth. I said Kaden Honeycutt would be a top 3 truck at plus 275. Cody gave you Hemrick as the top Chevy at plus 375. I said take the dual forecast because then you don't care who wins between Ty Majeski and Corey Heim at plus 120. And then Cody gave you Corey Heim at I can't say Corey and Cody that close together. It just doesn't work that way. Corey Heim at minus 110 to win the race on ESPN, but also sprinkled in Kaden Honeycutt as the championship winner at plus 750 in case he decides to finish higher and or win the race. I said Ty Majeski 4-1, too big of a number to pass up on ESPN, and then to win the championship at plus 240 as a result over on Hard Rock. Cody, it's Halloween. It's truck racing. Can you get any better than that?
I don't think you can get much better than that, Rod. It's going to be pretty exciting. And yeah, looking forward to it. sad that the Truck Series obviously coming to an end for the year. But I think we're in for a good championship race, and it's either going to be, Corey Heim kind of dominates and does what he's done all year, and you get your appropriate champion, all that stuff, or we might be in for some crazy chaos in action, which is always a little bit of fun as well.
We are in for a trick or a treat on this Friday Halloween truck race. But I will have to be watching it on tape delay. I got my daughter's final Halloween, her final football game altogether as a member of her band. It's going to be.
Yeah, you're at that time, Rod. That's, boy, that's tough. And TK checking in with just call Cody CZ. Surely no one else relevant has those initials. Nobody has those initials that's relevant, right? Make sure you tune into the Xfinity Series show tomorrow, Rod.
Nice plug. All right. Well, then, in the meantime, let's let everybody know where they can find us so they can go start placing these truck bets before they go away.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll be back tomorrow, of course, with a full Xfinity Series show, so make sure you tune in for that. And then, bonus, we're still going to have DFS all by its lonesome on Halloween on Friday, so tune in for that as well. In the meantime, Rod, follow me over on the X, at Husker_Zeeb. You can find all my stuff there. Got my Thursday Night Football preview article out over there, a couple of props, and my pick for the game. Tons of other fun stuff. Make sure you check it all out. See you guys tomorrow, and best of luck in your Truck Series bets.
Follow me on Twitter, where you can be disappointed that I don't post nearly as much as I probably should, but it's RJ Villagomez. And, have some fun with me as I lament about football and all kinds of crazy stuff. All right, we'll see you tomorrow for the Xfinity Series, where we'll have a full slate of that as well. Love you all. See you tomorrow. Until then, let's go racing and let it ride.
And as sweet as oven.